Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. According to my sheet, I love this sheet. I need to have a weekly sheet every week. We are on episode 85 today, and I have picked the pencils. I have sharpened the pencils. We are going to color these last two houses with the Schpirerr Farben, which is the next set in the alphabetical order of my budget pencils. We already did the Holbein. I have 35 of those pencils. I still have some cleanup to do. Then I did, in episode 83, I did the Prang. That is a 50 set. And today's set is a 96 set. So it was quite fun to pick colors. I had many more options, but these are very small images, so they really don't need a lot of pencils to color them in, which was a nice change from the butterfly and then the mushroom house, as I call it. So I am going to get started here. I'm going to start with the green. We have number 574. It's called Golf Course. These are a very svelte, light pencil, and they have a harder lead. They feel between the Holbein and the Prang, they feel most like Prang. I don't know that I've colored with these very much. I noticed that I had to sharpen like all of the pencils that I chose. So that was interesting. I should review what I've done with these. They might not even have a full current detailed walkthrough. I've probably done something in the past with them before I had fleshed out my walkthrough materials. I don't even recall doing a coloring project with them. So these definitely feel very Prang-like. Now the difference is the Prangs actually have a very bulky barrel like the Holbein. They kind of feel like the Holbein. It's a glossy finish barrel, and their core is 3.3, and I believe this is just from memory. I'm not quite sure, but I believe that these are a 3.0 lead core. All right, so now I'm going on to the blues. I'm going to start with Indigo 400. The nice thing about this set that I really enjoy is that the set numbers, they're in color family order, and they're already incremental. They do jump by 10, and that I'm seeing there are a couple of colors that appear to have been popped in the increment. So you can see how these, just look at how delicate the lines are. They're a pencil that I bet would do really nicely with nature drawings and colorings, because you've got this fine core that is very firm. So I'm having to treat this a little bit different. See, now we're getting a little bit of an edge, but look at that. That is one pointy lead. I keep calling it lead. It's really, we call it the core because it's pigment, not lead. So we're going to go in here and have some dark areas. All of these houses are different, and some of the angles are not straight, like this one here, but that doesn't bother me. So I did bring out 3 blues. The Prang, I'm going to have to rotate here to get a nice straight line. The Prang, I only used 1 blue and 1 purple, and I just lightened it up and plan on before the Sunday review, I will finish whatever fun blingy embellishing I want to do on this page, and then I will go in and burnish both of the other, all three sets will get burnished before their final presentation on Sunday, which actually I film it on Sunday and it will air or be pushed live on Monday. So the blurry issue that I was having, or the blurring issue that I was having when I first started, is the mode that I use to film is called Pro video mode. I actually take pictures that way, and you can set some of the settings the way you want, and one of the settings that I was on is autofocus, and that's where I was running into trouble. And now I just leave it manually focused and it stays pretty crisp and doesn't get confused about my fingers and my knuckles and the pencil and all that. So see how nice those dark lines are. Now let's see, I've got the next one is Prussian Blue 430. So let's see, this is not all that much lighter. I can tell that these behave a little different than the other two sets above on this very smooth paper. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I can tell that it kind of skates along. I'm trying to think of how to describe it. It skates along and doesn't really put a lot of pigment down. The other two sets just like, you hardly put any pressure. See if let's see. I'm going to make myself do very little pressure. And I find that the lay down with light pressure, see how light that is? And it makes me want to put more pressure on. Where the other sets, the prangs, I had to do a little bit of work. But the Holbeins were just really, really soft and silky feeling. And I did not have to put much effort into getting the color lay down that I wanted. I will say that this set is making my hand hurt, which is not usual. So I'm leaving these little bits of white because I have one more pencil to do. So I have the full range of a light, medium, dark. All right, and we're gonna just pop in a really quick Summer Sky 450. This is probably the color I will come back and burnish the whole house with. You know, I've got this is a little too dark here, so I'm gonna have to even stuff up a little bit. I have noticed, see these three pots? They have the shadow on the left, and on the images above, I have the shadow on the right. I don't think it really matters, but I just thought I'd point that out. I always just go with whatever my gut says as far as picking shadow lines. All right, we are blue. We are fully blue, and you can even hear this pencil a little bit. So next we are going to work on the roof. Let's work on the roof, which is the browns. I've got 3 browns. I'm going to start with the darkest on this one. And the darkest I grabbed is 680 dark brown. I have, this is the front of a roof. So I'm going to go ahead and put some dark. We're going to leave this little diamond white. We had a house in Everett, Washington that had some, just minimal, but it had some scroll work on the roof for the garage. And I always thought that that was cute. A little bit dating it, but it was a giant sprawling rambler. So this is the most detailed, this little scalloping. And I'm going to see how it ends up if I start with some detail here, little shadows. I will go with my shading line here. As I get to the middle, this is the shadow side, so the pots tell me the sun is over here, so I'm going to move my shading, the shaded part over here more will be where the light will hit the house on this side. So I'm going pretty quickly because I only have so much time. I am that colorist that can really take hours to do a very simple thing. I thought this was the funniest chimney I've seen. It looks like a bucket full of tools or something to me. It does not look like a chimney. All right, so that kind of lines out the shadow area and the sunny area. And I'm going to switch now. I'm just kind of going down this side angle. And let's get the next color. I have it the final roof, sorry. Final roof over here. Dark. Okay. Next color is brown, 660. All right. Got some of that. We're doing some of this. Coming over here. I'm actually using the side of this instead of the point, and that is helping put down what I feel is a more significant amount of the pigment. Okay, so I do have a lighter color, but I don't think I need it. I am going to use it on the other house. It is called Maple 110. We could do a little bit just for fun to add some color. This part can all be dark. Okay, next we're moving on to the red. Red and yellow. Let's grab the yellow first because that's quick. We will, oops, I'm shifting down. My trim, to be consistent, is going to stay white. Yes, because this house, all white. I think all of the houses have white trim just to keep things pretty simple. and allow me to color what I need to color in the time frame. Okay, so next we're moving on to red. I have two reds. I have like the dark edge red, which is called ruby brown. I did find it in the browns, and it is color 650. And we're going to do the door. And these two chimneys are going to be red. They look metallic, but I just don't want to have every roof or chimney element that's not brick be forced to be metal. So I'm not going to do that. And then we've got our pots. And then we're moving on to the second one. I see a little tiny brown element. This red is called True Love 240. No, yes. And it's one of the fun names. One of the colors is called There's No Place Like Home, and I believe it is also a red. And again, this house has a mail slot. There isn't anything to do with mail on the second house of all three rows. The only mail provided houses are the ones on the left. I think that's kind of funny. And I made this diamond right here on the door. That is supposed to be a window. So if you're curious, yes. And I will be fixing that. And these three little chimney bits, I will do something metallic with them probably. All right, and then same with that. All right, so all that's left is to fix the window. And then I do have a teeny tiny addition of something I see that needs attention, and that is that tree needs a little bit of brown. Okay, so that house is done. Now we're moving on to the last house of this page, and I am going to start with the roof because I have brown in my hand, and I'm going to make this roof lighter. And let's see if I can stick with my game plan. I am not going to use the darker color. I'm using the brown as the dark shadow area. And this has even larger tiles. So we'll see. If I can get some details in here. The tops, these little scallops on all three roofs, I will do something blingy with them. Okay, so that is, I have one more, the maple tone that I can pop in and do more with. That chimney bit I will do something blingy with. This little triangular shaped roof I will try to have a few of these lines darkened. And then this part of the roof is pretty simple. This is my darkest brown for this house. I'm getting a little bit of the side of the pencil dull, but I think for the roof here, for this, what I'm using as the darkest, I would rather have it be on the sharp side, so I'm rotating it. Sometimes, depending on the pencil, I will rotate as I go, especially if I want a particular size tip, I will rotate. For instance, if I want it to be sharp, I will rotate. And then it won't get a flat side, if that makes sense. So we're just adding in some of these details on the roofs. Both of these roofs actually have some detail to them, which is great. All right, I am going to grab the maple and let's see if we can pull this roof together. And here I am just like filling in the tooth with this maple color. Maple is 110. Yeah, so that gives us a different color tone. All right, let's come over here and fill in a bit of this and call the roofs done. I still feel overall with these, I feel like I have to add a lot of pressure, which is very interesting. I don't know what makes me decide pressure versus no pressure versus a little pressure. There's something about the pencils. I'm also getting this to look a lot more finished if you compare it to what I did up here with the prang. I'm gonna have to do that work. Perhaps I feel more confident that these pencils will burnish and come out with the vivid finish quickly and without a lot of extra effort, but it is hurting my hand. So I'm gonna lightly, just don't want there to be a harsh line. Okay, so next up, let's go with the house color. We have two colors to make the house. We have violet 370 and blue violet 360. And I am going to start with the dark. I sharpened all of these. I think I already said that. And so I can come in and get some dark corners going, shadows, kind of odd floral, viney, I guess, vine element there coming across the middle, which is kind of strange. All right, going to the middle. I've got some cheater shadow lines here, which are always nice to have. And then down we have just windows, so this must be like a living room or something, because we've got doors on either side. And then the main space that apparently this house has 2 stories because we've got some stairs. I want to save the in between the vines to be light because I found that it became too muddy on the, I think it was the Holbein one. Oh, and then what is this? Is that a cat door? I don't know. A cat door, a doggy door, an elf door, a fairy door. Okay, so I am going to grab the lighter blue, lighter purple, called Blue Violet. That's why I called it blue. And I did notice that this is quite a bit more blue, so we will see what we think. I thought that the space to be filled in was small enough that it would not be a problem for it to be a little more blue purple than violet purple. So we just have the rest of this violet, yellow for the windows, and green. All right, let's get into here. I kind of need glasses for this. I believe I used some gray on this one. The doors and the stairs. And then this pop out. Gonna have to lighten that up a little bit. I think it got a little dark. Yeah, I don't know these pencils as well. The Prangs I know super well. And the Holbeins seemed to be very easy to use. These are a little bit foreign to me, I guess. I don't know the right pressures to use. So we've got a little bit of green in here too. So let's grab the green. I don't want to add any more shadow. I have two greens. I have the lighter green, again, is Golf Course, and the darker is Green Mermaid. So, lots of little leaves. And then over here is some tiny blades of grass. The smallest blades of grass ever. And then there's some more leaves up here. And lots more on this wall. And I know my next step is kind of silly. For the dark green, which is more like a brighter green, I am adding that to the base of each leaf where it connects to the vine. Okay. And those are just teeny tiny. Yellow is next. And then gray. These teeny doorknobs, I will do a metallic treatment to. Oh, that is supposed to be this and the little circle only. So, window, window. And one more window. I have two grays. They are right here. And then I messed up on this door. I love this eraser. So here's a blue line. It's gone. It's just nice. It makes quick work of cleaning up over colors. Okay, two grays. I have a warm gray, which is actually not called warm gray. It is called French gray. And then that is 690 and 700 is cool gray. So I've got two. And I am going to do the doors. And then we have, so I'm going to do the door in the light. And the little teeny door, also in the lighter color. I have the stairway. And then put that away. And I have the darker gray to do the stonework. So small. It is called Small Victories for a reason. And let's do a tiny bit. And that is the purple one done. I see a lot of tooth. I did not grab the white. I am a little bit early getting finished, and so I was thinking I do have the case right here. This is going to move around, so I'm going to just let it sit here next to me, and I'm going to grab, there's a white and a cream. Oh, golly, I have my phone plugged in. Okay, white 010. And then Ivory 012. So let's just find a hole for the Ivory and see about filling in some of this tooth. Well, you probably want to see this. How well do the Schpirerr Farbens burnish with the white? I can see the color variation. So you have to be careful when you burnish that you don't use up all of the tooth, or you don't get a chance to put any more color on. This does not seem to be stopping that medium blue at all. It's just interesting to have a play with pencils. My dark blue is actually quite a bit darker. This is the corner that yesterday, no, I started today. That corner is a little on the dark side. And so is this up here. Interesting. So it's like I can't get a blend there. I'll have to play with these. They are different. Oops, I'm going to fix that. Went over the line. I still have a little time. So I think this light blue is doing a better job. Yep, that's coming out pretty even. Let's move down here and over across. Right here, I'm seeing that resist. There's that black line, and this, it's hard to get the pigment to get right close to that black line. Interesting. Okay, so now we have the wall needs to be smoothed out. I finally caught up and I'm not feeling rushed to color. I can't believe it. I'm getting a chance to actually play with these. Oh, there we go. Now you can see it. There's some shine. It's putting a shiny burnish down. I did not bring my list because this is going to finish this page off. All right, well, there is the burnished Schpirerr Farben house. Here is the unburnished, but still very smooth. The prang is pretty smooth. The house, the Schpirerr Farben was pretty rough looking, very toothy looking. Here is the unburnished purple and the prang purple, and here is the Holbein purple. It does look like both the prang and the Holbein did a better job. I haven't burnished this one yet, and it looks pretty smooth. Not a lot of the tooth shows through. Very interesting. All right, well, I will continue playing with finishing these off on my own time. I hope you enjoyed seeing these houses colored with 3 different sets. I have a whole bunch of sets of pencils to now put away after I finish what I want to do with all 3 of these sets of houses. Just looking. It's kind of funny how the Holbein, it doesn't scream to me expensive pencil comparing it to the prang. It just doesn't. Very interesting. All right. So, do all the YouTube things. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And then Monday is going to be the weekly color review.